Psychology, climate change, and the sustainable future. We do not inherit the earth, we borrow it from our children. This Haida proverb reminds us that our choices today shape the world future generations will live in. Imagine Earth as a single spaceship traveling through space with limited supplies and no resupply stops. Today, Earth's population of about 7.6 billion people is consuming resources at roughly 50% beyond the planet's capacity to regenerate them. This overuse leads to deforestation, depletion of wildfish stocks, and destabilization of the climate system. If everyone on the planet lived like the average American, we would need about 4 planet Earths to sustain that lifestyle. Over the past several decades, both population and emissions have grown dramatically. World population has increased from about 3 billion people in 1960 to more than 7 billion today. During the same time, the number of motor vehicles has risen from around 127 million to well over 1 billion. Burning fossil fuels for electricity, heating, and transportation adds large sums of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, driving the buildup that warms our planet. We can see the fingerprints of climate change in many different measurements. Instruments around the globe show rising air and ocean temperatures, as well as earlier spring onset in many regions. Glaciers and ice sheets are shrinking while global sea levels are rising. Many plant and animal species are shifting their ranges towards higher latitudes and higher elevations as they track their preferred climate conditions. Greenhouse gases are forming a thicker heat-trapping blanket around our planet. Since pre-industrial times, atmospheric carbon dioxide has risen by about 45%, and methane has increased by about 157%. Roughly half of the carbon dioxide we emit remains in the atmosphere, strengthening this heat-up trapping layer. As permafrost thaws in polar and high-altitude regions, it threatens to release additional methane, which could further amplify global warming. Global average temperature has increased by 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1 degree Celsius, since 1901, recent years ranking among the warmest on record. With this warming, we are seeing more intense and infrequent heat waves, droughts, wildfires, hurricanes, and floods. These extreme events bring on rising economic losses, destroy homes and infrastructure, and contribute to hundreds of thousands of weather-related deaths worldwide. One visible consequence of warming is the rapid loss of ice. Late summer Arctic sea ice has shrunk dramatically in both area and thickness, and many mountain glaciers around the world are disappearing. Shrinking glaciers and reduced snow peak means less summer meltwater for irrigation, drinking water, and hydropower in many regions. At the same time, sea level rise threatens coastal cities and low-lying nations with more frequent flooding, shoreline erosion, and saltwater intrusion into freshwater supplies. Climate change is not only an environmental and economic issue, it also is a psychological one. Climate-driven droughts, floods, and sea level rise can displace entire communities, causing grief, anxiety, and trauma. When livelihoods fail because of climate impacts, stress can lead to poverty, hunger, and social instability. Research also links hotter temperatures to increases in aggression, violence, intergroup conflict, adding the human toll of a warming world. On the scientific side, there's a strong agreement. Around 97 to nearly 100% of publishing climate scientists conclude that global warming is happening and primarily caused by human activity. Public opinion, however, does not always match this consensus. People's beliefs are strongly influenced by recent local weather and vivid personal experiences. This is called availability heuristic. Motivated reasoning, organized information, and media, false balance giving an equal time to unsupported views, widen the gap between what the science shows and what people believe. Social psychology offers tools to communicate about climate change more effectively. First, connect climate messages to the audience's core values and use trusted, credible communicators. Second, make climate impacts local, vivid, and easy to act on. Green defaults such as renewable energy options that are selected automatically and clear framing of risk can help people choose sustainable behaviors. Finally, describe climate change in memorable ways. For example, talk about greenhouse gases as a heat trapping blanket around the earth and about climate action as buying insurance against the worst case outcomes for our shared future.